Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American apocalyptic horror thriller film from 2026, titled This Is Not a Test. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. On a morning in December 1998, Sloane Price reads her suicide note and prepares to take her life in the bathtub when her father calls her for breakfast. Her father is verbally and physically abusive, and during breakfast, Sloane mentions her sister who had run away, which angers him. Suddenly, a screaming woman frantically knocks on the door, pleading for help. Sloane's father goes to investigate and returns with his shirt stained in blood, telling Sloane that they must leave immediately. Curious about what is happening, Sloane runs outside and witnesses zombies attacking people in the street. One of them turns toward her, but her father pulls her back inside and locks the door before she can be attacked. Moments later, a zombie breaks into the house by smashing through the living room window. Sloane's father confronts it, and during the struggle, he is bitten on his left arm. He eventually kills the zombie by impaling its eye with a sharp piece of broken glass. Shocked by what she has witnessed, Sloane flees the house, leaving her infected father behind as a zombie chases her. One day later, Sloane is among a group of teenagers seeking refuge at their school amid the outbreak. When they hear a noise coming from one of the rooms, a teenager named Carrie goes to investigate and discovers a zombified teacher, whom he kills brutally with a telephone, making Sloane uncomfortable. The group then blocks all the doors with tables and chairs and covers the windows with soaked newspapers. The group consists of two siblings, Grace and Trace, as well as Reese, all of whom are Sloane's classmates. While alone, Sloane tries to call her sister but is startled by Reese, who has been looking for her. They return to the group, where they hear a broadcast from a woman instructing survivors on how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Grace gives Sloane some water, and after she drinks it, she experiences a flashback. One day earlier, after fleeing from her infected father, Sloane is chased by a zombie, and she manages to escape by climbing over the backyard gate of a nearby house. While hiding in the garden, she meets two of her high school classmates, Reese and Carrie, and joins them in searching for a safe place. Back on the streets, the teenagers encounter two more classmates, Grace and Trace, along with their mother, who has a head injury. Together with an angry mob, they attempt to seek shelter at a recreation center, but finding it difficult due to the crowd, they leave. That night, they quietly move into a house. Tension arises several times between Carrie and Mrs. Casper, as she is upset with his attempts to assume leadership and insists on following her own safety measures to protect her children. Later, she treats her forehead injury, and the group then sleeps together in an upstairs room. Meanwhile, Sloane reflects on her older sister, Lily, and the events that once strengthened their bond before their father's abuse forced Lily to leave home.
Fuck you! I'm never coming back!
These memories include Lily taking money from their father and giving it to Sloane for lunch, as well as driving her to school and giving her a birthday gift, a letter sealed in a yellow envelope. Sloane decides to read it later and leaves the envelope in the car's glove compartment. Sloane is aware that Lily had been planning to leave the house, just as their mother once did, even before their father's abuse escalated. She begs Lily to take her along, but Lily promises she will when the time is right and assures her that she will not allow their father to hurt her again. Back in the present, the group is awakened by a strange noise coming from downstairs and quickly goes to investigate. They discover a zombie, which Carrie brutally kills with a baseball bat. Realizing that the break-in could attract more zombies, the group decides to flee the house. They reach the high school parking lot and attempt to get inside the building, believing it to be the safest place. However, Mrs. Carter is killed when she puts herself between the zombies and the teenagers, urging them to run. The group does not get far before they are attacked again, but they fight back and manage to escape into the school with zombies chasing them. Back in the present, Sloane begins to feel nauseous and rushes to the bathroom, where she notices water still running in the sink. She uses it to wipe the blood from her face, and the group then barricades themselves inside. In the school gym, Trace confronts Carrie for claiming the path was clear, blaming him for his mother's death. When Trace calls Carrie a murderer, Carrie lunges at him, and they briefly fight before being separated by the others. As tensions continue to rise, Sloane leaves the gym hall. Grace follows her and offers her new clothes she found in the drama department. While preparing to shower, several bruises are visible on Sloane's body, evidence of her father's physical abuse. Later, the group discusses whether the government or local authorities are responsible for the outbreak. Grace insists that help is coming, but Carrie argues that no one is coming to rescue them. Later, while moving through the school, Sloane reaches the entrance and discovers zombies trying to break in. She alerts the others, who are already aware of the situation, and they leave to gather more materials to reinforce the barricades. They go to a room where they notice that the zombies are not banging on the windows because a high fence separates the field from the street. Since the zombies cannot get in, Carrie tells the group that this could serve as an escape route if necessary. That night, the group is kept awake by the persistent banging of zombies on the doors, making it impossible for them to sleep. The next day, Sloane and Reese begin to bond, talking about how the outbreak has affected them, including the loss of their families. Their conversation is interrupted by a loud explosion outside that shakes the school, and they run to join the others. When they look outside, they see the zombies moving away from the school toward a gas station that has caught fire. The following day, while exploring the principal's office, Sloane, Reese, and Trace find a bottle of alcohol. The group begins drinking from it, and they decide to play a drinking game. That night as they sleep, a hand is seen touching Sloane's face. She has a vision in which she sees her zombified father. Later, while using the bathroom, Sloane notices someone watching her, but the person quickly runs away. She informs the others that there may be another person in the school, and the group begins searching for the person. Sloane, Reese, and Carrie eventually find their English teacher, Mr. Baxter, asleep and hiding inside a closet. The boys notice that he has a gun, which they take from him, and after waking up, Baxter is given food. While he eats, Carrie questions how he managed to get into the school, but Baxter claims he does not remember. His unusual behavior raises concern among the group. He asks to take a shower, and Carrie tells him he will show him one with running water after he finishes eating. As he continues eating, Sloane confronts Baxter, accusing him of watching her while she slept and of touching her face the previous night. However, Baxter denies any knowledge of what she is talking about. After finishing his meal, Carrie directs Baxter to the bathroom to take a shower. However, Carrie notices something unusual on Baxter's body. He immediately informs the group that Baxter has a bite wound on his arm, and they conclude that he must leave the building. Baxter protests, insisting that he is not infected, and when the group pressures him to show the bite, he panics and runs off. The group chases him down the hallway, eventually tackling him and confirming the presence of the bite mark. Overwhelmed by the pressure and the threat of being shot, Baxter agrees to leave. Before doing so, he explains that he got the bite from another survivor who had been attacked by zombies. According to Baxter, the survivor did not want to die alone, that's why he bit him, and in response, Baxter killed him. He adds that he entered the school by breaking a window in the boiler room, where the survivor's body can be found. Despite his explanation, the group does not believe his story and insists that he leave. As Carrie approaches the door to let him out, Baxter suddenly bites Carrie on the arm to show he is not infected. Trace and Reese quickly intervene and throw Baxter outside. Trace suggests that Carrie should also be expelled since he may now be infected, but the others disagree. As a precaution, Carrie is isolated in the nursing office so he can be monitored for any signs of infection. Meanwhile, Reese discovers Sloane's suicidal notes and confronts her, but she is not ready to discuss about it. She questions why he believes Carrie is not infected, and Reese explains that infected individuals develop a cold body temperature. He shares his personal experience, revealing that after his father was bitten, his body became cold before he turned into a zombie and attacked his mother. The next day, Sloane goes to the nursing office to bring Carrie some food, but is shocked to find him and Grace making out. She then goes to meet Reese and asks to speak with him in private, which also leads to the two of them making out. Afterward, Carrie and Grace decide to check the boiler room to confirm whether Baxter was telling the truth. To their surprise, they find the broken window and the lifeless body of the survivor, confirming his story. They return to inform the others, and Reese plays a news report about an emergency shelter for survivors at Rayford. However, the shelter is 100 miles away, and he suggests they find a car to get there. Trace, on the other hand, suggests they remain in the school since it is safe, but Carrie disagrees, arguing that they will eventually run out of food supplies, which leads to an argument. Sloane walks away from the situation, and while walking down the hallway, she finds Mr. Baxter lying on the floor, severely injured and bleeding. When the others arrive, Grace approaches Baxter and notes that his body is getting cold. Reese warns her to stay away, but just then, Baxter turns into a zombie and attacks her. In the chaos, Trace fires Baxter's gun into the struggle, and Carrie ultimately ends the zombified Baxter's life. It is then revealed that Trace accidentally shot Grace during the initial gunfire, and dies moments later in Carrie's arms, leaving him devastated. Blaming Sloane for getting in the way, Trace later lunges at her and kicks her in the stomach. Carrie and Reese restrain him and forcefully pull him away, reassuring Sloane that they will protect her. Having had enough, Sloane decides to leave. As she does, she notices her phone on the floor and sees a message from Lily telling her to come back home. She shows the message to Reese and Carrie when they meet her, but Reese explains that it is an old message. However, Sloane refuses to accept this and insists on going home by herself. Reese stops her and offers to go with her, and Carrie also says he will go with them. While preparing to leave, Sloane offers to inform Trace about their plan, even though Carrie offers to go. She goes to the classroom, where Trace is sitting beside his sister's body. Sloane apologizes and tells him she would have done the same for her own sister. Holding the handgun, Trace asks Sloane if she can forgive him. When Sloane reassures him that everything is fine, Trace thanks her and then commits suicide by shooting himself in the head. The sound of the gunshot attracts Reese and Carrie, who rush to the scene, and Sloane informs them of what has happened. Realizing they can no longer remain in the school, Sloane, Reese, and Carrie decide to leave and search for a car so they can travel to the safe location mentioned on the radio. After successfully escaping a group of zombies chasing them, the trio makes their way into a house, where they discover the owner dead inside. As zombies begin to approach, drawn by the house alarm that had gone off earlier, Carrie tells Sloane and Reese to run while he distracts them. He runs out into the street and disappears down the road as the zombies chase after him. Meanwhile, Sloane and Reese return to Sloane's home, only to find it boarded up, which Sloane believes was done by her family, and they manage to enter through a window but find the house empty. In the living room, Sloane notices someone and approaches alone, only to discover that it is Lily, now infected. The zombified Lily attacks her, and after a struggle, Sloane kills her by impaling her through the head with a metal bar. Nearby, Sloane finds her father's body, suggesting that he may have attacked and bitten Lily. The next day, Sloane and Reese take the family car and set out toward the location indicated in the emergency radio transmission. As Reese finishes preparing the car, Sloane opens a yellow envelope from the glove compartment and reads the heartfelt message Lily had written for her. When Reese starts the engine, Sloane discards her suicide note, and the two of them depart together. Okay guys, that's all the recap about This Is Not a Test from 2026. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.